Westfield, New Jersey, on January 7th, 1912.
Hello, this is a
only
challenge
child
to see how long
the
I
father
can hold the
who was
Backbend.
a piano salesman.
I can hold it anywhere between 5 to 10
and
minutes.
he had a mother
I'm playing a
and
quick
an aunt
video clip
who
on my
basically
computer
took care of him most of the time,
about the
and
Addams
did a lot
Family.
of drawing with them.
And I'm gonna listen to that while I
In
hold the
Westfield,
Backbend
New Jersey,
all
it was
throughout the way.
there were
Let's see if I'll
dilapidated
make
homes,
it.
big old Victorian empty houses, and or at least in state of detritus to a point. And he was fascinated by that. He also walked to school past these houses. He didn't happen to live in a home like that, but he did pass by them. But he also was fascinated very early on with cemeteries, loved cemeteries. He and his wife, in fact, here loved cemeteries and would picnic in them. Often it was a quiet, restful place to be. But as a child, he was interested more in what were those people all about underneath the ground, and would stand and think about it, and look at their headstones too. I think that was part of the interest and the intrigue, is what was written on headstones. He has a lot of drawings of cemeteries, and the headstones are always revealing, mostly are revealing for what the gag line is about the drawing. He did try college. He went to Colgate University, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and Grand Central School for Artists. Never graduated from any of them, but he attended, and clearly he was destined to do what he was going to do. Basically, I think he had a few jobs that laid the foundation, but his heart was always waiting to get to the New Yorker. The first real full drawing that was published by the New Yorker in 1933 was of a hockey player, and two hockey players standing there and looking at the third hockey player, who has remorse on his face. It is hung kind of.
My hands are starting to tingle.
When you look down, he's wearing his stocking feet, his socks, and his toes are crossed in front of him. He said, "I forgot my skates." You know, and it's a wonderful, really wonderful drawing. It's a line drawing, which I think most people don't know that work of Charlie's, because he did develop fairly soon after the first few years of starting
I did some weight training.
more than just a line.
Well, Saturday I did some weight training, and it left me sore because I really pushed myself.
Addams Family characters were
in a good way, not to pain, but man, Sunday my arms were sore, and today, man, they were, and I did strength training again.
The first Addams Family
So I can feel my shoulders right now.
Gomez, August 6, 1938. That is the date it was published in the New Yorker. And it's a salesman coming to the door and is trying to sell them a vacuum cleaner. What's interesting about it is that this is the beginning of seeing what did become the Addams Family. A few drawings do eventually pull them together, that there is a father and a mother and two children, and some other characters, other aunts and uncles and grandmama. But they didn't form right away. They became referred to in the news media that it was Addams's family of ghouls. But that's how the Addams Family really became the Addams Family. It's an interesting story of how the Addams Family even happened. Unfortunately, David Levy is no longer alive, but he was a producer and was in Manhattan, passed a Doubleday bookstore window and saw one of Charlie's books in the window, and it happened to have the quote-unquote family, who had not yet been a family, but were a family of characters. And he said to whomever he was with, that should become a television program. Contacted
my
Charlie,
arms aren't that defined.
through the New Yorker. They met.
It's okay.
At the
My
Plaza
legs are
Hotel,
much
I
better,
believe.
and they're just naturally stronger. So that's why I do a little more strength
Eventually,
training.
these characters had
Because you may not see it, but I
had
can
not
do
been named. They
some
never
things with my
appeared
arms.
in any of the books.
That's okay. It's just the way I'm
Any of
doing.
the caption lines do not have any names on them. So
Also,
Charlie did name them.
If you think I'm a little kid doing this, I'll just let you know I'm 20,
This is attached to
born
the
in
contract
94.
that Filmways has. Is his little sketches
I can
of
get away with looking
Morticia
like creepy children.
or Gomez or whatever family member,
It's fun.
and their characterizations.
I can pay less at the
Morticia
theater.
is the head of the family.
No, I'm kidding. I don't do that.
Driving force behind the family. Low-voiced,
No, I mean, I never.
and subtle,
I only did that when I was like in junior high school, where I looked like I was in elementary. And I think, no, I take it back. I did that once in high school. Uh-oh, there goes my cat.
Moving along to Wednesday, she is a solemn child, prim in dress, and on the whole pretty lost. Secretive and imaginative, poetic, seems underprivileged and given to occasional tantrums. Has 6 toes on 1 foot. The boy, Pugsley. It may be interesting to know that in the very beginning, Pugsley had several names, one of which was Pubert, and it was determined at that time that Pubert was not going to be acceptable to 1963 television whatsoever, and he became Pugsley. An energetic monster of a boy, about 9 years old, blonde red hair, popped blue eyes, and a dedicated troublemaker. In other words, the kid next door. A genius in his own way, he makes toy guillotines, full-size racks, threatened to poison his sister, can turn himself into a Mr. Hyde with an ordinary chemical set. Granny Frump.
Well, women can become Mr. or Miss Hyde once a month.
Frump becomes Grandmama.
Oh, I'm sorry,
The complexion is dark, the hair is white and frizzy and uncombed. She has a light beard and a large mole. She wears a shawl on all occasions, thick socks, and fleece slippers under a bombazine skirt. Uncle Fester, who Charlie did seem to feel was most like his own personality. Uncle Fester is incorrigible, and except for the good nature of the family and the ignorance of the police, would ordinarily be under lock and key. The complexion, like Morticia's, is dead white. The eyes are pig-like and deeply embedded, circled unhealthily in black, no teeth and absolutely hairless. Lurch the butler. This towering mute has been shambling around the house forever. He is not a very good butler, but a faithful one. He is often sent to pick the awful herbs from the garden, for instance, but will often forget the most important ingredient of all, say eye of newt. We'll move to Thing, which is interesting also because Thing is, you will see, is a different character than what became Thing as we know it today. The Thing is often observed watching the family through the balustrades of the balcony over the living room. We don't quite know who or what he is, but whatever, he's the soul of good nature. At least he grins perpetually and may occasionally whimper. And last but not least is Gomez. Gomez, husband of Morticia, if indeed they are married at all, a crafty schemer, but also a jolly man in his own way. He is dressed in a tight, double-breasted striped suit and is sometimes seen in a rather formal dressing gown. The only one who smokes, though Pugsley can be allowed an occasional cigar. The house is a wreck, of course, but this is a house-proud family, just the same, and every trapdoor is in good repair. Money is no problem, they are quite well off. Some ancestor made a real killing. All of this in Charlie's words. It's interesting how the press perceives and builds up a character versus how the possible character is.
There you go.
Charles Adams is a perfect example.
I don't quite know how long that was actually,
would lead one to
but my arms are killing me.
Someone who should be incarcerated or
I feel that blood rush in my head.
Possibly in a madhouse.
Feels really good.
He was accused of that in the press.
Well, there you go. I don't know what the time is. Probably find a way to state that later, but that's usually, I could go anywhere between 5-10 minutes. Upside down. Just again, you feel all that blood rushing, and you know, I believe in moderation, so you don't want to do too much to get a headache. Yeah.
He had a vast collection of
Anyway,
ancient weaponry.
that was the timing, and take care.
Fascinated by all of that. That's a very small group of people.
Oh, 9 minutes. 9 minutes and 20 seconds, according to my phone. That's how long it was, and that's the cup I used to hold this recording device. Okay, take care.